Exploited is an incredibly gripping, compelling foster care memoir from Maggie Hartley. This was released originally in 2020, and I've recently just reread it again. And I have to say, pretty much at the end of every chapter, I was desperate to read the next one. I don't want to say too much about what it's about because part of the reason it's gripping is because it's so surprising and so shocking. So I really don't want to give away too much. But basically, Maggie is looking after I think 15-year-old girl called Hannah, and Hannah's mother actually asks for her to go into care because it seems like Hannah is just completely off the rails. She used to be a very sweet little girl, and then all of a sudden things started to change. She started to go out late, she'd come back drunk, and she was, climbing out of her bedroom window to get out of the house if her mother had grounded her. And her mother is desperate. And I love the fact that it's saying social services are there to help people. I know they have a bad reputation as being people who take away children from their families, which, that does happen. But it's nice to show that actually parents can go to them for help when they don't know what else to do to protect their children. And this is what we have here. Obviously, Hannah's not very happy about things, but to begin with, during the honeymoon period, she seems to be in agreement with all of the rules that are in place. She doesn't ask to go out, and then things start to go downhill again. And I won't say any more than that. But what I will say is expect the unexpected. Up until that point, the point that I've described, it was interesting enough, but nothing interesting happened really. But once we begin to find out more and piece together more bits of the puzzle, it just becomes more and more shocking and gripping, and you will probably lose sleep with this one. It's one of those books where I say one more chapter, then bed, and then three chapters in, I'm still reading it because it's just so fascinating and so well written as well, which is very helpful. Really thoroughly enjoyed it for the right reasons, insofar as it's good to see their support for Hannah and her family, and also because it's written in a way that's very gripping. But obviously, there's a lot in this that's quite shocking to read, quite disturbing, things that I don't want to believe really exist in the real world. So it's very eye opening about certain things as well. Definitely a very surprising, gripping read, and for the right reasons, one of my favorite foster care memoirs, because I couldn't put it down. It's as simple as that. If you haven't read it, absolutely recommend it. If you're new to foster care memoirs or just to Maggie Hartley, I'd say it's as good a place to start as any because it is shocking, but it's not as disturbing or as difficult to read as some other stories. But from start to finish, or almost start to finish, I found it to be impossible to put down. Definitely one that I have a lot of praise for the right reasons. Thoroughly recommended, and chances are, once I've forgotten the specifics, I'll read it again at some point in the future. Exploited is definitely one book that I thoroughly recommend.